4 against 1, Cadet Calder. Most humans would already be begging.
Then it's a good thing I'm not most humans, Instructor. Open the gate!
The Kelvasi Combat Academy did not train soldiers. It trained survivors, and it had never trained a human before. Cadet Ryn Calder stood alone in the center of sparring ring 7, the overhead lights buzzing white against the steel floor. Above her, 3 tiers of viewing balconies were packed shoulder to shoulder with cadets from a dozen worlds, all of them murmuring the same word in a dozen different tongues. Deathworlder. Her instructor, a broad-shouldered Vorok named Threll, folded his scaled arms. 4 opponents, 1 human. Let's see if the rumors about your species are true, Cadet Calder. Ryn rolled her shoulders. Only one way to find out. The gate hissed open. 4 cadets stepped in. A hulking Grethner with chitinous forearms, a pair of quick, wiry Skarn twins, and a Vorok duelist twice Ryn's mass. They had trained together for a full cycle. They had never lost as a team. This won't take long, the Grethner rumbled, cracking his knuckles like breaking stone. Ryn didn't answer. She dropped into a loose stance, weight forward, exactly the way her drill sergeant back on Earth had beaten into her during a war most of these aliens had never even heard of. The Grethner charged first, telegraphing a haymaker the size of a wrecking ball. Ryn didn't dodge back. She stepped inside the arc of his swing, and drove her elbow into the soft cartilage beneath his jaw. He staggered, more shocked than hurt, and that half-second of confusion was all she needed. She hooked his leading leg, redirected his own momentum, and put 300 pounds of alien straight into the floor. The crowd above went silent. The Skarn twins didn't hesitate. They came from both sides at once, fast and low, claws extended. This was where 4-on-1 usually ended a fight in seconds. Ryn had trained for exactly this. She let the first twin close the distance, then pivoted behind him at the last instant, using his own body as a wall between her and his sister. The second twin's claws raked empty air. Ryn drove her knee into the first twin's ribs, felt the wind leave him, and shoved him sprawling into his sibling's path. She's using him as cover," someone hissed from the balcony. The remaining Skarn twins snarled and lunged, but Ryn had already read the tell in his shoulders half a second before he moved. The same tell every predator gave before a strike, whether it had claws or fists or a rifle. She sidestepped, caught his wrist, and turned his own momentum against his elbow joint until he yielded with a strangled cry, dropping to one knee. 2 down. 2 to go. The Vorok duelist, easily the most dangerous of the 4, hadn't moved yet. He was watching, calculating the way a smart fighter should. "You fight like something hunted you," he said. "Everything hunted us," Ryn answered. "That's the whole point." He came at her with brutal, disciplined strikes. No wasted motion, no arrogance. For the first time, Ryn had to actually work. He caught her once across the ribs hard enough to steal her breath, and the crowd roared at the sight of blood on a human. She staggered back a step, and for one heartbeat, the entire arena believed the Deathworlder was finally breaking. Ryn smiled through the pain. "Good," she whispered. "Now it's a real fight." She closed the distance instead of retreating, the last thing he expected, and used his own forward momentum to slam her forearm into his throat. He gagged, off balance for a fraction of a second, and Ryn swept his legs out from under him. He hit the floor hard enough to rattle the observation glass. That left the 4th. The Grethner, back on his feet, furious and humiliated, charging in blind rage instead of strategy. Rage was the easiest thing in the galaxy to fight. Ryn ducked beneath his swing, grabbed the joint of his arm, and used his own 200-kilo charge to throw him bodily over her hip. He crashed into the far wall of the ring and did not get up. "Silence," Ryn stood in the center of the ring, breathing hard, blood at her lip, for opponents down around her. She turned in a slow circle, meeting the stunned eyes of every cadet on every balcony. "You wanted to know why humans are called Deathworlders," she said, voice carrying easily across the ring. "It's not because we're the strongest. It's not because we're the fastest. It's because our whole planet has been trying to kill us since the day we crawled out of the ocean, and we're still here. Every single one of you was born on a world that wanted you to survive. Mine didn't care either way." Threll, the instructor, stepped forward slowly, studying the 4 cadets groaning on the mats. None of them seriously hurt, all of them thoroughly, permanently humbled. 4 against 1, he said quietly. "And you barely raised your voice." "I didn't need to." Ryn holstered nothing because she'd never drawn a weapon at all. This had been hands only, exactly as the rules demanded. "Pain is the best teacher in the galaxy, instructor. I just gave them their first real lesson." Up in the balcony, the murmuring had changed. It wasn't mockery anymore. It wasn't fear either, not exactly. It was something closer to respect, the kind earned only in a sparring ring, the kind that couldn't be faked or bought. The gate hissed open again. Ryn walked out of Ring 7 without looking back, already thinking about tomorrow's drills, already knowing that no cadet in this academy would ever again make the mistake of thinking a human alone meant a human outmatched. Behind her, 4 aliens picked themselves up off the mat, and for the first time in the history of the Kelvasi Combat Academy, an entire balcony of alien cadets rose to their feet, not to jeer but to applaud.